And that's the kind of person that Slark wants to find right now. Before Odie actually does grab a survivability item, he's extremely vulnerable.
Yeah, you can see he's going to be working towards the Hurricane Pike, both the defense of the Force Staff as well as a little bit of stats up for him to be able to work off of. Again, Faceless have managed to chip down another tower. Very, I would say, very safe way to be able to take these outer objectives the way they're doing it. Bit by bit, chipping them down, not really ever leaving OG an opportunity for a big initiation.
Enigma going for BKB immediately after the Midas. This is pretty standard for what I've seen from S4 in the past. Downside is he doesn't have the best setup in the world, so he will be able to guarantee a black hole, though. There's not a lot of interruptions coming out of Faceless, so he'll be set for most of the game with that. And with the BKB rush, he'll have trouble initiating, but he does opt for the talent tree with the movement speed, which is one good way to do it. Give you a slightly better chance of finding the right black hole. Fly's gonna go for a setup here in the mid lane, or just a little pressure. Fly's in a lot of trouble, gets body blocked.
Nuts is actually gonna be able to come in and help XY finish it off.
He's doing such a good job getting there at the right time.
Yeah, he really is. Like, again, the support rotations throughout the first 15 minutes of this game have been very much on point. Jabs forced to use his waveform. Both the cores of OG showing themselves in the bottom lane. Jerix is dealing with ice right now, but will manage to make the TP out. As a result, because of that kind of spread that we were talking about earlier, you could see the three cores of Faceless all sitting at a very comfortable net worth. Oh, Black to just find a potential kill in S4. There is the black hole here, so S4 is actually just going to TP out. Is he going to make it? Oh my Jesus!
God. That was so close. I swear the dagger was already inside S4. It was very nice edge there. Magic resistance perk definitely would have kept him alive, so... Ugh.
Sliver of HP, S4 sneaks himself away. But again, they're putting this pressure. OG are forcing, like, they're TPing back all the time, and these TPs have longer cooldowns than they used to. It means Faceless are in a better position to punish this. In fact, you can see Jerix right here. No TP for 30 seconds. Black is going to be able to pick up that one kill. Does get stunned up, but he pops the ultimate as the extra security to make sure he doesn't get caught in any sort of chain to save.
They want to go no-tail.
They are thinking about it. There is a shrine going to be there. They really want to fight this one out. No-tail pops the shrine.
That's pretty early.
Faceless, I mean, I think they're just happy with the shrine being forced. They'll back away.
Oh, really nicely done with the Shadow Shaman, using Hex to instantly kill the Replicant. That's actually going to be a huge advantage all game long. Dealing with the free Radiance against your enemy team, that's a lot harder to play the game. But...
yeah, I think that's one of the fantastic things, right, is that as a Morphling, you don't worry too much about your farm in the early game versus out, because you know you're going to get it eventually. But as you said, the Shadow Shaman will be able to slow it down a bit.
They've got really good ward vision from Faceless' side, too. This is exactly where they want to actually pressure, is in the Dire safe lane. Very likely place for Enigma to be, place for Alchemist to be. But with that said, the gold advantage is looking pretty good for Faceless, but it's not overpowering. And it's just going to get better for OG due to having Alchemist, Midas on their top three farmers. So I think they're getting some kills, they're getting some advantage, but I think they need to lay on the pressure even harder. Try to force a team fight that they win.
It's kind of conservative the way that Faceless are playing it right now, and they're slowly but surely making this bit of a chokehold on the map, but they got to pick up the pressure at some point, right? We said, 20, 25 minutes, we thought we'd see Faceless getting pretty aggressive. I mean, that's still the timing window where those Midases really haven't paid for themselves.
Yep. So, except for on OD, the extra attack speed is really beneficial to the hero. Enigma, obviously, levels are fantastic, but the level 15 talent perk is where things really start going for it. And normally he hits this a lot earlier just because he does translate the black hole into some good team fighting hero kills. But we just haven't seen that yet, and that's because OG's lineup is definitely passive. The thing that may start changing that, though, is Batrider getting Blink Dagger. It's at 1,700 gold now, getting pretty close. But the other issue is because they are playing this defensive lineup, they're hauling their side of the map, there's less space for Batrider to farm, they're not getting ganks off because they can't do it yet. I mean, you would love to do some smoke kills, but it's just so likely that they run into a Shadowblade Slark if they do look for those kinds of kills. Smoke breaks, and at that point, how do you initiate that guy from range? It would be so hard, unless you do, like, Astral into Black Hole or something to guarantee that he doesn't get his spells off.
Black jumps himself away. Again, popping that ultimate, it's just the extra security. Faceless are really making sure they don't bleed away any kills to OG. And it does seem like that's the way that OG make these very greedy lineups work for them. Is they play pretty defensive, they play pretty split pushy, and then you push into them, they find a team fight or even just a couple of pickoffs. And all of a sudden, that greedy lineup ends up working for them. So Faceless really making sure they don't give that one up. Nice kill on the Bat Rider up there at the top lane. XY actually canceled his TP. Uh-oh, Anna, you spot him? No, not quite.
That was really close.
Ships in the night.
I think the reason Black used his ultimate there was because Dark Pact was already popped, and I think he was very concerned about a potential blink on Jarex. Like, you just have this feeling in the game, like, why would Al go for that stun there? If there's a blink and that stun hits me, even if it only stuns me for half a second, that could lead into a Black Hole combo that gets me killed, that gives them the advantage and the levels that they need.
Jesus, we all these TPs going around. Fly, they just laid down a ward there. Fly immediately counters it. And again, we are going to see Black push out, see if he can grab one of the squishy heroes of OG. At the same time, we haven't talked about this. Ice, he's building into a Radiance. So he is looking to be that third core. He's going to be, waiting to see the Radiance off Terrain, as that has a lot of value with some of his abilities on the Abaddon. But basically, we're saying Faceless aren't going to be too concerned about pushing this late game against OG.
I think it's all right to go for this build. Obviously, a lot of Abaddons lately have been going Midas pre-Radiant or Vlad's, but also some of the teams that have been doing really well previously, like Secret, for example, just straight defensive items. They're going to spot Black. This is the problem here. They run into this guy, Smoke's wasted, and it actually did hit all of them. No blink dagger, so they can't catch him. If they had a blink, maybe they could go for a Black Hole, but even that would be kind of dangerous.
Jarex, if he's not careful, he's trying to lay down a little bit of fire before he backs up, but was a wrap around from Jabs and Black. Not quite fast enough to be able to catch him.
Black's coming back in, though. They've got the... Oh, he guns to the right instead. Looking for Jarex.
Gets over to Cliff.
50 gold away for the Bat Rider, and almost at level 10 as well.
Oh, Jesus. And there's the beginning of the shotgun.
Yeah.
Quick elimination on Fly, and maybe with a pick off like that, are Faceless going to try and do something with this, or are they going to continue to just try and control the map? It looks like that is exactly what they're going to do.
I think Faceless just doesn't want to take a 5v5. I think this game looks really obvious for them. They have amazing teamfight heroes. If we take a big fight, there's a good chance that OG will do what they do with the Enigma, which is win games, just with teamfight control. So what they do instead is continue pushing out the map. Part of the reason is getting Radiance to make that even easier. Ice will just constantly sit top, and Slark will look around for kills and smoke breaks, which is going to be very effective against OG's lineup. And they're just occasionally going to get pick-offs with a hero like Morphling. Definitely one of the best things about him as a carry compared to other cores is that all you really need is a little bit of items and knee blade, and you can kill supports. Pretty straightforward, most of them at least. And so they basically have Slark that can get solo kills, they have Morphling, and they just have great split pushers as well.
OG are going to be able to find Ice here. He pops the ultimate, but he knows he's pretty dead. Nuts is coming into the neighborhood, but I don't think Nuts should be anywhere near this one. Ice should be a goner, but maybe not. Jeez, look at that. Alchemist is so low already. Nuts is almost able to finish him off. They are able to get it with the Aphotic Shield. The burn damage was actually enough to be able to bring the Alchemist incredibly low. Ice thought that he was goner for sure, but OG just didn't bring enough heroes.
And the amount of damage they did, this is not
already
good.
Down so low. S4 is going to go down. Black is in the back lines. He's going to be able to pick up an extra one, catches Fly. OD, Anna in the imprisonment. He's going to come right back up and go right back down again. 16-4. Faceless are taking this game one by an incredible storm.
That right-click physical damage that they're throwing out between Slark and Morphling is so hard for OG to stop there. But most of that fight did go bad because Ice is just hard to kill. This Vlad's pickup, it's not a Midas, but who cares about levels and gold when you can just kill heroes and level up that way? Because he's accelerating big time, and he stayed alive. He healed back up to full due to Midnight Pulse and Firefly and a little bit of Radiance maybe. And that just made the fight so easy for Faces to clean up. And all of a sudden, the Rax is gone.
25 minutes in, with a Slark, a Morphling, and a Radiance Abaddon, Faceless have taken a lane of Rax.
And you don't take that kind of fight and win that hard and not have your next item right on the precipice. I mean, Morphling's got 3k in the bank. He's about to pick up a BKB. That means OD doesn't do crap in team fights. That means Shadow Shaman does nothing. That means even if he gets Black Hole, as long as his BKB's up, he's actually not going to take much damage at all. OG is very reliant, actually, damage-wise, on their opponents not having BKBs. And because of the way Faces have played this game, they haven't let OG take a team fight. They haven't given them the gimme Black Holes. They're pretty commandingly ahead right now.
Now, I think there's really only way that OG stopped this. Like, the endgame scenario is coming up fast. Faceless, with that BKB, with the Aegis, they're going to be able to take a second lane of Rax pretty soon. The only way they stop this is with the Black Hole.
Yeah.
right? They have to get like a super strong initiation that potentially catches heroes before their BKBs. As I don't think there's a way for them to really be able to split push enough to stop this incoming.
And the heroes I feel like haven't really contributed that much is probably Shadow Shaman and Batrider. I feel like the support duo was not really the best here. Like Shadow Shaman's I'm kind of winning, I want to like move around, get kills, split push, and take towers, but all he's been is meat really. No Tail gets caught on.
No Tail immediately blown up. They are going to be able to get the black hole and the save from the imprisonment, so it looks like they're going to be able to get the kill on the Slug to start things off, but maybe Jabs can still fight this one out. They go for Anna, do manage to pick up that kill.
Jabs.
No Tail had the regen going, but Nuts is just going at it. He had the freezing field that whole entire time. They've taken 2 of the cores. They're going to find the 3rd, and the Enigma got him just before the TP. That's 4 down from OG. A tier 2 rapidly falling.
Is this game over?
I think it is, Kevin.
It's going to be buybacks, but I mean, they don't have Black Hole. They don't even have Alchemist ult for 25 seconds. OD used his ult to guarantee the Slark kill. If Faceless really wanted to, they could hard command. They will.
Oh, goodbye.
That's so bad for OG. His buybacks icon is still there, and he's been dead for 5 seconds. That is not the situation you want, and that's going to be a double racks almost for sure.
Wars go out. Jab's like, oh, thank you, Fly. I will take that extra gold. As well as the tier 3 bounty, which you know is still going to be going down soon because you still have 14 seconds till the Enigma's back up. Another 2 for the OD. Swinging away at that melee racks.
They got Bloodlust, they got Vlad's Aura, Morphling's hitting for almost 300 damage right now, and he can almost one-shot every hero on the enemy team. Even the Alchemist doesn't look survivable. If he had like a Manta or something, he could try to like disjoint some of that initiation, but even Jarek's, like, gotta push lanes. That's the only way they can keep them out of their base. They gotta buy 30 seconds to get some heroes back up, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. Is Faceless gonna do this? I mean,
I think it's over. I think they're just gonna run down. They're gonna take this tier 3. Anna on the side, he almost gets bursted down. Morphling not quite able to finish him off. He jumps forward, actually does manage to get the nuke out just before he can get back to safety too. Fly goes down with the shackles, and what a whopping. Faceless. Oh, they came in damn strong for this game, number 1. Close it out by 28 minutes on the marker.
they played that so well. Like, their laning stage was great across the board. The rotations from Nuts set so much tempo this game. OG very, very good at the early game, but every single time that somebody was playing a little aggressive, oh, I'll just poke on this guy a little bit, shows up at the perfect time for the frostbite, and that's all they needed to get a lot of those kills. And then once they hit the mid-game stage, it was just this, like, poking and lane pushing, and don't let them take a team fight. Faces did not play overly aggressive at all. They completely picked that off. Do you see that? Like,
yeah, Flag is all over it. And I have to say, I think he played an outstanding job. First of all,
absolutely.
The 2 supports, right? We talked about those rotations. We praised it quite a bit. They were making things happen around the map. That was the first step. And then Black took over as step number 2. You pointed out very early on, right? He's going to be playing aggressively. He's going to be popping these smokes. OG are going to be forced to clump up. And the only real aggression they can show is with these smoke plays. And we saw it immediately in that mid lane play, right? He popped the smoke. OG couldn't do anything. They didn't have the blink daggers. All their supports are suffering. They're not able to farm, but they're also not winning team fights because Faceless just wouldn't give it to them.
And I think it still comes down to what OG drafted as their support combo. I feel like the Batrider pick was your typical, I know I want to grab Batrider, but then the things kind of change, and you're like, oh, I can make it work. But they just had a lot of trouble making those supports work.
It really does look like Faceless have solved some of the problems that many other teams had to deal with OG. We throw it back to the panel. Panel, what the hell? Like, what is Faceless? Have they just broken OG? Have they solved the code?
Indeed, they may have found the last Horcrux of OG as they go down in the opening game. They said Dream Green before this one. They're not dreaming green right now. Ben got an uphill task to get to the semi-finals after that.
That was really rough. One of the best Morphling performances that I've seen, but also one of the best ways I've seen them handle Alchemist. Alchemist just got trashed.
Yeah.
Badly.
Yep, 0-3-2. Can't remember the last time we saw No-Tam and S4 go through a game without getting a single kill between them.
That is really impressive. It kind of feels good to see Alchemist lose.
Yeah. Secretly, we're all
No one's sad here.
I really like the way Faceless approached this game, to be honest. They were very aggressive. Their support movement, I think they burned all 3 smokes within the first like 10-12 minutes. They really wanted to make moves. They were like, okay, the Enigma's going to be jungling and stuff like that. They're not really putting pressure onto Black, so we have a lot of like free reign with our CM and our Ogre to make moves around the map, and they did exactly that. They kept making moves on on the other two lanes, putting a lot of pressure, claiming objectives. And when we were kind of looking at it, we're like, oh, OG has the Shadow Shaman, they can claim objectives, but I don't think they even got a chance to drop the roster wards at a tower almost at all this game. It was just Faceless always being on the aggressive and dictating the pace of the game.
Yeah, very different set of supports in this game for OG. How do you rate them?
I think they tried something cute with their draft. They were trying to pretend the Batrider was offlaner so you could get a better offlaner for itself. It didn't work out. I expect OG to be able to sort of write it off as that. These guys are major champions. Specifically, they're a major champion who had to go through the lower bracket all the way at Frankfurt.
Yeah.
So they know how to deal with these losses. I think they'll be fine in this series.
They weren't effective though, were they? These supports.
No, this is. I've never seen all of OG have such a bad game together like this. Usually, you have one player who managed to like sort of rally his team, or he's maybe like some Naga split pushing and pressuring the map. But this was a very convincing game by Faceless.
Yeah, I think that's the other side of this, Fold, isn't it? We're talking about how poorly OG played, but let's talk about how well Faceless played.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was saying how they kind of like understood. This is a team that really understands when they're supposed to be aggressive in the lane phase. I think that most of the time I actually see this team, they come out of the lanes and they're usually ahead. I was talking about it before. They did it this time, and this time they actually made something happen with it too. They had the Morphling and the Ogre for like the push, so they were able to claim some objectives with that. So it was just like really good to see like them being able to do that.
Yeah, the transition out of the lanes. They've been strong in lanes all the way through the groups, and before that, we've seen them at DRC, and what they couldn't always do was go afterwards. And here, there's a perfect graph in many ways, Fold, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because that's exactly when the lanes they're all done, and then Faceless takes off.
There's no hesitation. There's not like, oh, let's like sit back for a second. It's like, oh, we don't have. We were talking about how they don't draft. They don't like to draft these like long cooldown ultimate abilities. But I feel like in this game, that's kind of what shined for them a bit. Kind of overlooking it. They were like, oh, they have like Black Hole, they have OD ulti, they have Frost Awards. We don't need any ultimates. We can just go time the whole time and put the pressure onto OG. And that's exactly what they did the entire time.
And then another great game from Black on the slide. That's 2 games in a row where he's died once in 2 games.
Yeah, I really liked his early game TPs and helped out his team. He was able to get the Shadow Blade really early though because of the Crystal Maiden. I think we talk about the aura all the time, but he was able to get online really, really quickly, probably way faster than OG expected.
To add to what Ben said, I thought how Faceless constructed Alliance was so cool. Usually when you pick a Crystal Man or even a Drow Ranger, you won't have 4 other heroes use his aura this well. But in this game, I felt like the aura was the difference maker. We see a hero like Morphling, who's traditionally a slow hero. You know, you have to go through that Linkins to get the mana regen. Instead, Jabs just went for this Dragonlance to do Ethereal Blade, and he was so fastball. I think it really caught OG off guard. Once he got that, every single team fight was just smooth.
Yeah, Jab's superb in that particular game. Just final words on OG in game 1. What have they got to change, Fold?
I think they lacked like something to kind of get them together for like the objectives. Usually when No-Tail does get pressured in his safe lane, he gets the hell out of there and he goes and makes the move to the enemy safe laner. This time when you're an Alchemist in the safe lane, it's much harder to do. So this time he really struggled to do that because they put so much pressure on him, they kept moving to him. Alchemist can't really move away. I know they've made the Alchemist safe lane work, but when they have nobody else who can really hit buildings, when the roster's having such a bad time, that'll happen.
Ben?
I also think in the draft too, they got caught off guard. They didn't have to take the Alchemist first phase because Faces weren't actually banning any of the Illusion heroes. Usually when you pick Alchemist first phase, you're worried about it getting banned in the second phase, but all the Illusion heroes were available to them, and they were completely okay with playing a very fast-paced game.
Think we're going to see a change from OG?
Well, I think
Are they going to have to change?
I think they do because the heroes are OG heroes, but usually they don't pick them like this together. Usually OG are a team that are able to collapse. In this game, they had an OD Enigma Alchemist core. So that's one of the slowest lineups that we've seen in a tournament. And to add on top of that, you had a Batrider support who's not. He's like okay. He's pretty good at level 1 too, but he's a hero that needs time to get this Blink Dagger. He can't run around as effectively as say like a Slard or a Monkey King or something like that. I think this game we saw what happens when OG cannot collapse on that tower. They just aren't as effective with their moves after that.
We'll see if they change things up when we head into our next draft. And looking forward to game 2, of course. Before we get to game 2 and the draft, let's check in with Sir Action Slacks once more for some more mischief at the major.
Welcome back to the National Palace of Arts. I I am here once again with Tonya. How's it going, Tonya?
Oh, it's pretty good.
Good, good. Now, art, right? It means a lot of things to a lot of different people, and even though we are video game nerds, it's not lost on us. So I thought I'd look at some art with you today. Tell me about these two beautiful paintings.
Beautiful they are. So first of all, this is the Ukrainian family who came to a new place and searching for a new home. And this is the face they are making.
Beautiful faces.
Beautiful, yes.
And then this one over here.
There's a lot of warriors. They've been through a lot, and they are very different, but in the same time, they are the same.
Right.
So this is all about it.
Very well. Now, art, you know, you look at it, and for all of us, it means something to us personally. For us Dota players, everything we think about is about the game. So, we've devised a little game here where we will look at the faces made in this beautiful art, and we will relate it to our Dota games. For example, if it were me, and this was my picture, this man right here would be a support who has spent his entire 70-minute game supporting, waiting for his carries to carry, and they never did. So he sold all of his items, bought an Agnum Scepter, went ham and started killing people. That or it's Spear from EG. I mean, either way, both of those work. Anyway, we've got some contestants here. Gentlemen, hello. Introduce yourself. What is your name?
My name is Enes. My name is Sergey. Maxim. Bogdan. Oleg.
All right, gentlemen. First things first, let's take you over and see what you got. Now, it has to be good. There's only one winner. So show me a face and tell me about the game.
Oh, see. Is his face?
Oh, that man up there. The man with the right next to the flag with
Yes,
the sword.
and these birds.
Okay, the face
It's
up there.
a beast master.
Beastmaster, okay,
Yeah.
I see the yellow.
And he checked the enemy's smoke with the birds.
Oh, perfect.
That's creative.
That's very good. He saw the smoke with the birds. These are all the enemies, and then he's pointing them out to the rest of
Yes,
the team.
and he say to fight.
Yes, perfect. That's very good. I like the use of the bird. Very creative. Sir, what do we have here?
Yeah, I choose this face. It's me when I killed 5 enemies and told to my team, let's destroy barracks and ancient.
Yes, let's push.
Yeah.
Everybody all in.
Yeah,
Dive, tier
yeah.
3 ancient, kill yourself.
Yeah, or kill Russian.
Or kill Russia. All right. You seem to do that a lot. You have a lot of yes, go.
Yeah.
All right, that's very personal. Thank you for sharing. Sir, what do we see?
Когда Storm Spirit украл у тебя Aegis?
When Storm Spirits steal your ages.
That is a good one. When Storm Spirit steals your Aegis, I feel that pain right there. Does that happen to you often?
Часто с тобой случается?
Бывало.
That happens.
All right, very good. Gonna be hard to beat. That was perfect. What do you think?
I choose him.
Okay.
It's Mirana who's ready to send arrow at first level on mid.
Oh, all right. The Marana arrows kind of squeezing up. Do you play a lot of Marana?
No, I prepare offlane, Bristleback or something else.
Oh, okay. So that's the look that Maranas give you right before you murder them.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see that. That's very good. Last but not least,
Yeah.
it's a tough job. You've heard a lot of competition.
Yeah. I choose this picture because this.
Which one? Who? This
Yes.
man right here?
Yeah, this.
Oh, that's a wise man.
Yeah, when the low skill player in the voice chat teach me how to play Dota.
So this man constantly telling you how to play even though he doesn't know anything?
Yeah.
Which one are you then? I need a picture of you. What, you the wisest man
No,
on the
this is
team.
his face when someone tried to teach
Oh,
you.
that's your face.
Yeah,
I thought that
that's
was
my
it.
face.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's very disgruntled. Oh, no, that's not good. So where's the noob then? Point out the noob for me, please.
Noob? I don't know, maybe this because he's young, very
He
young.
does look young. He
Yeah.
looks like he doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah.
All right, it's a hard decision. You guys all were very creative in your answers, but I felt like one man truly has experienced this before. I feel like you have to be the winner. I'm sorry.
Ты победитель.
Well done. Well done. Can I get you? Thank you. Can I get you to make that face right next to that man? All right, fantastic. Well done. Our winner, ladies and gentlemen. And we learned a lot about art and ourselves. Keep making art. Keep playing Dota. Thanks for watching.
Sarant Slacks there, taking in the art of Dota 2 through many of the fans. Very good indeed. We're looking forward to our second draft. OG up against it, as you can see on your screen right now. Faceless leading by a game to nil. Ben, we probably wouldn't have had Faceless. We didn't get time to talk just before the first game. We wouldn't necessarily have had Faceless win in this series, would we?
Nope. They're riding high though. They got a little bit lucky in the seeding. I don't think anyone say differently, but they played very well versus TNC, beat them in a straight-up game. And OG, they have had fairly similar drafts. It's either been like Naga or Arc Warden, I would say, between the majority of their drafts, and maybe Winter devised the strat to beat them.
I mean, that's the thing is that Faceless is playing to their strengths, which we always say is their lane dominance. That game they literally picked because they were like, okay, these heroes are very good in the lane versus what they have. Slark matches up well versus Alchemist in the later game. Slark versus the Bat Rider first two. That's kind of what they were looking at when they the information that they had there.
Yes.
And they kind of picked afterwards. They saw the Alch. They really picked heavily toward the countering the Alch, but also just the lane phase. So it was a very clever draft coming out.
And in a way, Chris, I guess OG kind of looked themselves into how they were going to play from the very first two picks.
Yeah, a little bit. I think. I'm not sure what happened though, because OG's early game is usually very hard to punish. They're one of the teams that's greedy, and people think, I don't know how to punish these guys with the early game lineup. Every other team that's tried an early game lineup against OG, I feel, hasn't succeeded. But Faces did it spectacularly. Every gank seemed to work for them.
Do you think same again for Faceless in the style that they drafted?
I think definitely. I think this is a team where Faceless doesn't match up that well against OG to me if they go into the mid-late game without an advantage. I think OG are just a lot more experienced than them. But if they can pressure early game like they did this game, I think they have a good shot.
Look, we really talked a lot about the cores. We were saying like Ice had a beautiful laning, Jabs played almost impeccable, Black had some incredible TPs, but the supports really enabled that. Like I mentioned, they used like all three of their smokes very early, just keeping the pressure on to enable their cores to be able to do that. I think like those two guys actually played. I think the CM and the Ogre played such an important role for this team. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if they dropped something very similar in the next couple coming on.
What do they ban, OG? What do they ban
Crystal
against?
Maiden.
Yeah?
Crystal Maiden is definitely the key hero for Faceless. You have to ban it out or take it. You cannot give it to them. The early game is too strong, and it just accelerates the early game way too much at a point where it was irrecoverable.
Most picked hero at Kiev Major. Is it the most important hero right now?
For Faceless, definitely for OG. I don't really think they care so much that they get it. It's just that they cannot
don't want to give it away.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like the hero's first picked, or first two a lot, it's picked the most as a 60% win rate, and people are still underrating the hero.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those invisible impact heroes that I like to call them. You just can't tell how much it's doing. I mean, in this game you could, because Faces just ran it so well, but usually.
Yeah, it does seem that way, doesn't it, Ben?
Yeah,
Teams constantly
it's
underestimating it.
When you play with Crystal Maiden, is just nice, but you can tell like with their item builds, they didn't like overcommit on mana regen. They were able to pretty much have no downtime because of the Crystal Maiden. They're very used to playing with the hero. I guess there's some other like invisible impact heroes too, like something small like TA traps and like Lycan Wolves. I suppose also have. It's hard to tell the impact if you're actually playing the game. But spectating, we can actually tell that it's a big difference maker.
It feels amazing to play with Arcane Aura. It really does.
Every time I see him, I feel like you're gone.
Yeah.
Like, if you ever play with like a lower MMR friend, the hero you tell him to pick is Crystal.
Yeah, if you're in an ability draft, you're like, please, someone take Arcane Aura.
Someone take Arcane Aura.
Yeah, please.
It just enables you to. I love how it just enables you to be able to skip those like early game items, like being able to skip the Ring of Aquila on the Slark, being able to skip like the raindrops and all that. We saw it. Yeah, he just brushes Shadow Blade and he starts going. He gets like 3 or 4 kills pre 20 minutes because of it, or maybe even more than that. I think that's like just I think the Crystal Maiden is just so important for this type of factor.
Even in Liquid's team, they were able to first pick the Earthshaker because of the Crystal Maiden. I feel like Earthshaker's super. You have to buy like 3 or 4 clarities if you don't have the Crystal Maiden on your team, and the Earthshaker worked out a hero that is pretty much never picked.
You saw the players just entering their booths once more, having had some refreshments and some breaks. They've got back into their booths. They'll get into the lobby very shortly. We'll continue talking about heroes in particular across the Kiev Major. Only 11 left that haven't been picked or banned, out of which, do you think we might see any of them? I'll give you the list. It's AA, Chen, Enchantress, Gyro, Lone Druid, Mirana, Necro, Shadow Demon. Techies obviously knowing Captain's Mode, Underlord, Viper, and Zeus.
In this series, I think Gyro is probably the most likely.
Yeah.
All 12 of those.
But you picked
By the end of the tournament?
They picked Lone Druid in DSA finals.
And they lost.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if it's a tilt pick because it's like they're getting 3-0 and they picked in the last game. But
It seemed like it was gonna break out at DAC, didn't it, Lone Druid? As in, like, it become more popular again, but actually it's had a few nerfs.
The nerf to Rabid was.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a biggest fan of Lone Druid. I've loved the hero for a lot of years, but
Not playable.
I'm just sad they ruined the melee Lone Druid as well as the ranged one. Like they could have made it so you could still play the melee bear Lone Druid. That one was OP, but they nerfed the sniper one.
Any of the others
Legitimately
fault?
looks sad.
I am sad. I like
I'm
low
just going to
tier.
leave him in his sad corner over here while he subs his heart out over
I
there.
agree with Ben though. I think Jawcard has some potential.
Yeah.
I think the eggs on that hero is actually really good. It's
I'm a believer after you told me about it.
yeah, you get the eggs, you get the maelstrom, you fire really fast, you're super tanky. I'm a fan of that hero. The problem is his laning is just so mediocre. But to be honest, at this tournament, we've seen a lot of heroes that, you know, we would look at them before and they're too bad in lane to be picked a lot of times. They're too easy to pressure. The Slark has an insanely high win rate. The Spectre has a very high win rate. These are two heroes that, when you talk about carries for a bad lane, you name them first.
Did you have Pugna on your list?
It's been banned
It's been banned
twice.
Hasn't been picked.
Hasn't been picked.
Twice,
it's one
banned
of the-
twice.
Banned twice, yeah.
Too
It's part
smart.
of the...
Too smart.
Too smart. It's part of the 101 that we have had picked and banned, 97 picked in total, and 11 not chosen whatsoever, not targeted at all. When's Mirana coming back? Previous patch, they were talking about it just before DAC. We said maybe it was one of those sleepy heroes that might just start getting picked up. And several players have been talking about it in glowing terms, and yeah, this is actually viable in certain situations. Disappear completely.
Talents are pretty terrible.
He has some of the worst
The worst talents, yeah. It's 6 strength, 10 or something. It's like, and then you get like
He
four,
has
like 6%.
75 cast range or something?
Yeah,
It's like what
that's-
the lowest cast range is? I'm not sure.
The cast range like 5% spell amp on a hero that doesn't really benefit
I think
from
he
a lot.
legitimately has a 10 move speed talent.
I think
I'm not
you're
sure.
right.
I think it's like 6 strength or 10
movement speed. Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
look and you're like, what am I doing with my life?
Which, I mean, 10.
Number 2, we have Monkey King ban again. Faceless decide to get rid of it, and the tree as well. And
I'm banning CM?
yeah, is that
Ice. Like,
Do it again?
do getting rid of
What?
Timber again?
they're just, he has these 3 heroes he's incredibly strong on. It's Aron, Timbersaw, and Nyx. And he's gonna get one of them. So unless OG pick up the Nyx, maybe they're predicting the CM, and Nyx is one of the better heroes against CM. They could take it themselves. That might be a decent idea. I haven't seen them play Nyx as much, but to be honest, it should be a hero that's good for them. I could see them running some Nyx Evoker this game.
Oh, Faceless looks really happy. Right away, they're like, nice, we got Crystal Maiden
Crystal
again.
I mean, wait. You have the aura which allows you to play extremely fast.
One of the better setups, maybe not as good as the Black Hole, but it is a little bit faster paced than the Enigma, which I think you need versus the Crystal Maiden here that doesn't need Midas plus one more item before things start happening.
I think it's also like the Disruptor kind of they're like maybe afraid of the Slark from the last game. I think that might be a little bit of an indicator. They're like, all right, we're just picking the Disruptor in the first 2 right now. If you want to pick Slark into it, you can, but it can be kind of painful versus the Disruptor.